Well, speaking, of those big waves that people that might be approaching people at different stages of their life, what would you recommend people to do? Maybe like step one, step two, step three. They are, yeah, facing their big waves, whether that's work or relationships or maybe health or whatever that is. Like, what are the first few things that you
Hmm.
think people well should do to do it in the right way and to approach it and
Yeah.
to have this beautiful
Yeah.
transformational experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that a good starting point is to be prepared, like for what know what you're going into.
Mm,
Be prepared, um, and that make sure that the reward or the thing on the other side of it is worth it, is worth the effort.
mm-hmm,
I think a lot of people unfortunately work or they do things, but they actually don't really know why they are doing it or what the purpose is.
mm,
And they put a lot of effort into something, but they don't know kind of why. So I think knowing
mm-hmm,
what you're working towards, what's on the other side of the fear, what's on the other side of the challenge, that must mean something to you.
mm-hmm,
That needs to be important to you, and that can be um, very motivating to get you through the tough times, when you kind of have in mind the reward or the opportunity on the other side. Being prepared for what's ever coming your way. There's no shortcuts, and you have to be disciplined and being prepared. And then, yeah, accept that if you're going to do something big, that fear and anxiety is going to be a part of it. And I think it's always good to acknowledge. We don't want to ever shove it down.
yeah,
Acknowledge that it's there, feel all the feelings, be present with it, but then also acknowledge that that's not you, and you can let that pass like a cloud moving through the air, and you can reframe it into and build excitement in the face of it. Yeah,
yeah,
whatever you're facing. Yeah,
yeah,
I hope that kind of helps a little bit. I was a bit all
yeah.
over the place, but
But no, still, no, understanding, the reason why you're doing that. So, it's
yeah,
worth it because it's a huge factor. Then being prepared, knowing what you're getting yourself into. And are you prepared? Are you ready? Right? You're not
yeah,
like going to be surfing 7-story building tall waves without preparation. Like that's not the thing.
sure,
Uh,
yeah.
and and then yeah,
Mm,
accepting the fear as the thing that's going to show up and you're going to need to deal with that. And maybe
mm.
figuring out how you're going to deal with that when it shows up.
Sure. And also just thinking on that, I think a lot of people will often feel a bit stuck or overwhelmed when they're thinking of a big thing that they want to do, but taking those first little steps towards it's also
Mm,
very important. Like I've had many moments when, I mean, that one story I spoke about in my talk when you were listening is, I was crying. I was so fearful and overwhelmed, but I traveled all the way to Hawaii for these huge waves, but I was so scared. But just taking that first step,
yeah.
that's the first little bit of momentum, taking a step towards it, and then taking another one. And my big wave journey has been a whole lot of little stepping stones that have brought me
Mm,
to in surfing on the biggest stages around the world. So taking those little steps towards it in the right direction and being intentional about it, has been very important for me.
yeah. It reminds me of this phrase, how do you eat an elephant? Like one bite at a time, right? And it also
Mm,
reminds me of one story like a client recently told me about how she was afraid to let go of certain like operations in her company that she spent so much time building. And when I told her, well, you don't need to do it like just one big chunk at all at once. Just if you do it step by step, like giving
mm,
one task, then another task to a person and seeing how they handle it. So I feel like a lot of big things in life, if we just approach them like one small step at a time, they also actually
mm.
trigger a lot less fear. I feel
Sure.
like, okay, I'm just doing this step, I don't know, preparing presentation for the talk. I'm just practicing,
Yeah.
this in front of the mirror. When you like do it one step at a time, it's often like what I found a lot less scary.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference because our brains naturally want to fly to the end and see the whole picture. And woof, it's a massive mountain to climb and it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But yeah, taking those little steps.